Eagles fly. Let's beat the squad. Big Pat Shelley, Dante the dark child. Drop the stats on him, drop the facts on him. Spur King, baby, let's get it on.
Hey, fam, it's your man Dante the DarkKnight. Our Philadelphia Eagles are out of the playoffs. Very disappointing loss, 23-19 to the 49ers. Everything that plagued us throughout this year continued to plague us today. Just a second. Let me cut this audio off. Just a second. Yes, our Philadelphia Eagles. Everything that plagued us happened today, and we talked about it all the while. We tried to bury our head in the sand and say that we could still win with all that ailed us throughout the year, but it wasn't to be. Same thing that everything, the undisciplined play by the offensive line, penalties, killing plays, big plays, play calling again, horrendous. That's probably the only good thing about this is that they're going to be forced to do something with the play caller. And I alluded to in the pregame show, if Patullo, if the Eagles win or go deep, that we might still have a chance of Patullo being the offensive coordinator. But I think that today should solidify his departure, and that's a good thing. That's probably the best thing that can happen as a result of this loss. I am thoroughly disappointed that our season is over. It's crazy. Yeah, and yeah, I see you, John. John is like, I guess they weren't playing possum. No, they were not playing possum. This is, that was my last hope, and that was a hoping on. It was like a wing and a prayer. I was just hoping they were playing possum during the year, that they were going to pull out a more creative and innovative play calling or play design or something on offense. But we didn't see any of that. It was the same old, and we got the results that we were bound to happen. It was bound to happen sooner or later. I continue to think that our defense is a very talented defense, but when you have an offense that is just as anemic as our offense is, it's hard to overcome that even with a great defense. You can't have your defense, provide you opportunities and then you squander them with 3 and outs. You can't expect to be a championship level team when your offense gains, at one point in the fourth quarter, we had only 20-something yards in the second half. You cannot win with that type of offense. And there's no excuse for that type of offense with the type of talent that we have on the offensive side of the ball. I don't care, that the offensive line was banged up. The production from this offense, even with an injured offensive line, was not acceptable. It just wasn't. The play design, the play call, the way it looked, it doesn't pass the eye test. It never passed the eye test. It definitely didn't pass the statistics test. It just was a horrible offense all year long. And now we get an opportunity to fix it. That's the only bright side of this whole situation. I am thoroughly and deeply disappointed that we're out. And we got put out by getting beat at home. Defending Super Bowl champions. I'm gonna go to the comments. I know you guys have a lot to say. First person, AJ got to go. I'm still not mad at AJ. I am not mad at AJ. When you have to play in an offense such as this, and it would be like Michael Jordan being stifled in the triangle offense. He would be the first person to say, we need to get rid of the triangle offense. That shit don't work. And I'm not mad at AJ because his beef is with the offense being anemic, and the offense is anemic. But granted, I'm not saying that he's not without blame because he had a very catchable ball at the in that drive, that final drive. That had he made that catch, this could be a different outcome. So I'm not relieving him of any blame, but I'm not getting rid of him. I'm getting rid of Patullo before I get rid of AJ. I'm sorry. This loss is not on Hurts. No, it's not on Hurts. It's on Hurts's offensive coordinator. That's who it's on. Can't blame KP for that. Brown 3 drops, Smith 1 drop. No, you can blame Brown. What are you looking at? You're looking at the final drive? Are you looking at that? Because look at those drives where it was 3 and out. Look at those drives. Look at that play calling. Look at the pattern of this entire year. These are the same players that made plays with Kellen Moore. These are the same players that made plays with Shane Steichen. They didn't forget how to play. I don't think so. I don't think that this talented group forgot how to play. If you ask me what is more likely to happen, those talented players to continue to play subpar, or the play caller continue not knowing how to figure out and call an efficient game. You tell me which is more likely to happen. I've seen those players produce at a high level. I've not ever seen the offensive coordinator get the most out of this offense or call a game that resembled a efficient offense. So to me, the players get the nod. The offensive coordinator needs to go. If I'm Jeffrey Lurie, John Batiste, Patullo's offense is getting cleaned out tonight. Unfuckable. I get you. I can't even pronounce it, but I got the sentiment, and that's where I am. I'm sorry. Drew says very disappointed, effing pissed, man. Yes, I am too. Eagles, AJ shake my head. Yeah, I am shaking my head, but I'm still, I'm disappointed in a lot of people, but I'm probably most disappointed in the offense, man. I'm just sorry. I can't. There's no other way to look at it for me. It starts and ends with the play calling and the offensive coordinator and everybody that's involved in that. Everybody that's involved. I'm not even going to. I'll say Patullo a little bit. I won't even blame it all on him. Everyone that had a hand in the offensive brain trust of this team this year needs to look in the mirror and they need to examine themselves. I think they need to go. Really, I really think they need to go. And I know and I feel confident that Howie is going to make that change. He is going to make that change. Well, we cannot suffer with this offense anymore. Well, we're not. We've been put out of our misery, so we don't have to suffer with it anymore. And I mean, the way that it looked, man, I hate to say this, man, but I'm disappointed. I'm truly disappointed. But if this offense was going to play like this the rest of the way, man, I'm glad that somebody put it out of misery. I'm glad that somebody just shot it in the head and then put it out as misery, because this was horrible. This all year, it was horrible. This was just a culmination of a bad year of offense, man. And we've had to endure this train wreck all year. All year we had to endure this train wreck. Wendell says, if Coach Siri do not fire Patullo tonight, he need to be fired. That was horrible. There's no way that we lose to a second and third and fourth screen. No way. You could not move at all in the second half again. No way. Yes. John Batiste again says, I guess we wasn't playing possum. Man, it was horrible. Please release AJ, fire KP. I'm not releasing AJ. I'm sorry. I'll go with the fire KP, but I'm still not releasing AJ. I'm sorry. Nick, fire Nick. Bring in horrible. Yeah, you know what, Sue? I know that, people are going to be looking at you like, see, that's emotional. You just over emotional. But I, I'm the way I'm feeling right now, I'm with you. I'll get on that train with you. Blankenship was horrible. Yeah, he been on that. And that seemed like, oh, I don't know how he been on that. He had one responsibility. That was just to stick with that, with stick with McCaffrey. Let those guys handle everything in front of you. You just make sure that McCaffrey doesn't run free. That was his only responsibility. That was horrible. Um, I think I put this up here already. Yeah. Jack says I didn't think we would have a post game after this offensive BS. Go Birds. Um, yeah, I'm here. Suleiman's here. I'm here. This is our therapy session. We need to di- digest this thing. Let it sink in. It's not a surprise, right? It shouldn't be a surprise that it ended like it did. This didn't look any different than what we've been complaining about all year. A lack of discipline. O-line, man, you killing me with the penalties. Penalties negated some good plays. You know what I mean? Offensive line to stop. What are we doing out there? The offensive line is out there giving massages. That's how much they're holding and grabbing. They're just giving massages out there. Come on. This was horrible. This was horrible. Wendell says if coach not fired Patullo tonight, then he need to be fired. There's no way we lost to a third and fourth screen team. Horrible. AJ Brown dropping passes, not good, man. Song got to change. Yeah, I understand that. Something has to change. I'm not getting rid of AJ though. For me, that's for me. I don't know what's going to happen. It's a good chance that he might be traded. I don't know, but I would not. This AJ's whole problem was this offense being trashed. And when you look at what AJ, it wasn't about him particularly getting the ball. That was a part of it. But the reason why he wanted the ball, because this offense it sucked. It sucked. And he felt like if you know what, if you guys gave me the ball, maybe we have a better chance. Albeit, I'm saying this on the heels of him dropping a big pass in this game that could have changed the outcome of this game. But even with that, I'm still riding with AJ because his point was valid. This offense was trash with him in the game or out of the game, whether he was catching balls or whether he wasn't. This offense sucked, and even the games he were out and Dante had good games. The offense wasn't great. The offense still sucked. Let's not get it twisted. The offense, they still sucked. Play calling still sucked. There was still no consistency or continuity in the offense. So to me, KP's got to go. So Jalen will have yet another OC. Best case scenario, because I don't know what's going to happen. I have confidence that Howie is going to correct what is wrong, but I don't know what that may be. I don't know. If he's smart, he'll do what he did after the Brian Johnson fiasco. Go out and get a veteran offensive coordinator. That's what he would do. I'm very unhappy that we're not able to repeat. I really am. But when you take a deep dive and look at it, this might have been the best thing that could have happened. Because, heaven forbid we pull out a win and we continue to stick our head in the sand and think that we can continue to win like this. And this way of winning is not sustainable. It's not sustainable. It has to be a better balance. And we didn't have a good balance at all. We had a top-notch defense and like a bottom third offense. That was going to be a hard balancing act, right? So I'm not happy. I really am not. But if I'm going to find a silver lining out of this, then I'm going to be happy that we're going to have to find an offensive coordinator and that there are some out there. So if I'm going to find a silver lining out of it, the silver lining is we're out and their offensive coordinators available, and we're out early enough to secure one of those before they're gobbled up. McDaniels from Miami is out there. Kingsbury is out there. We have there's some good offensive minds out there, and the fact that we're out, and the fact that our offensive unit is as talented as it is, makes this a very attractive job to come to. We have a solid roster. We still have a solid roster. And we have most of these guys locked up under contract. I don't think we lose anybody. So if there's an offensive coordinator out there that's not in line for a head coaching job, this offensive coordinator for the Philadelphia Eagles is an attractive job. So in that sense, if I'm looking for a silver lining in this cloud here, that's it. That we have we're out early enough that we can go shopping for one of these magnificent offensive coordinators that's still out there. You guys, Palatero, how are you? How you feel about this? Fire KP and Sirianni right now. You know, I'm with you, and this is not out of emotion. You know, you guys, I've always touched on that, and it's not that I'm not a homer. It's just that we've had 2 years of similarities. Now, this team did not collapse, such as the team in 23, but it was the same ending. You know, a putrid, anemic offense, horrible offense with a talented offensive unit. See, this the reason why this is such a disappointment is because of the talent on this offense in this offensive unit. If we were talking about a lot of young, unproven, or untalented players on the offensive side of the ball, this may not be the disaster that it is. This may be a matter of maybe we don't have the talent, right, on the offensive side of the ball. But what makes this so disappointing, what makes this disastrous, is the fact that we do have talent. We do have talent on the offensive side of the ball. And for this offense to perform like we don't have any talent, like we have a bunch of young, unproven players on the offensive side, shows you that there's something significantly wrong with this offensive brain trust, this offensive system. And we've seen it 2 times in 4 years. And we've seen this undisciplined play 2 times in 4 years. So although the offense of play calling, play design, I give a lot of blame or credit to the offensive coordinator. Some of that goes to Sirianni because it's his offense. It's his offense. And he was brought in as an offensive coach. So if the offensive coordinator can't solve it, the offensive-minded coach should be able to intercede in some way and help out. And he was not able to do either one. Well, we knew he wasn't going to be a play caller because he tried that when he first came in here, and it didn't work. Then I have to put on his plate, Sirianni's plate also, the undisciplined style of the offensive line. It's the head coach's job. If you can't get your team to lock in and play disciplined football in the biggest game of the year, you know, you got your offensive linemen killing plays, killing drives single-handedly. They were doing a better job at stopping our offense than the 49ers defense was. As a matter of fact, our OC and our offensive line did a better job of slowing down our point production than the 49ers defense. That's how bad it is. Who's getting fired is the question. Well, who's getting fired? The OC needs to be replaced. I don't know if he gets fired. I don't know how you bring him back, but I know he's Sirianni's boy. So Sirianni's probably going to fight hard for him. But if he fights hard enough, then he might find himself in a Doug Peterson situation where he's out the door also. So we'll see. We'll see. But one thing I think is unanimous is that the OC needs to be replaced. I don't think anybody denies that. I think that that's a unanimous vote. If we take a vote here, you tell me. I'll ask you guys right now. Are you bringing back Kevin Patullo? Does Kevin Patullo have to go? Let me know in the chat. Kyle O'Brien, same old song and dance, my friend. You're right. Same old song and dance. It's not even surprising, right, Kyle? We tried to. I said I was cautiously confident, and confident in the defense. The cautious was the offense. That's where the caution was, and it proved to be true. That's where we had the most concern all year. Nothing has changed. The things that we were afraid of happening and why we were afraid that we couldn't continue like this proved itself today. All year, people were like, man, why can't you guys just get on board? This is how we win. This is such and such. No, we kind of knew that, this is not a pattern or path to the Super Bowl that's sustainable. We kind of knew that. Could it be done? Yes, it could be done. But with a percentage, the percentage, was there a high percentage chance of that happening like that? No, not as much as the path we took last year when our offense was more productive, more efficient. So yeah, this is not very surprising. Nobody who's on here surprised. Please tell me who's on here really surprised. Team had no enthusiasm. Yeah, that was something else, Sue. I said in the pregame that I really thought that body language, energy in the beginning of the game would tell a lot. And I don't know if I saw that energy that I wanted to see, right? I don't know if I saw that. And I don't know if I saw that hunger that I was looking for. You guys tell me. I'm looking at it through my lens, through these lenses right here. You tell me what it looked like through your lenses. And get AJ out of Philly. I'm still with AJ, man. I'm sorry. I can't say AJ. I know AJ made a big drop, but you give me a good OC in here, and I promise you'll see a better AJ. Give me a competent and good OC in here, and I am confident, I guarantee you will see a more productive and happier A.J. Brown. So I'm not out on A.J. I'm out on Kevin Patullo. Kevin Patullo helped create the A.J. that we saw this year, to me. Time to move on from A.J. if possible. Jake and KP can go too. Again, I'm not ready to move off of A.J. Defense is good, but offense needs to score 6, not 3. Tremont says, hopefully we hire a real OC that can call plays. That is it. That's the whole key. Oh, here go Karen says, AJ, Jake, KP, and Nick got to go. Damn, she's getting ready. Everybody. But, hey, look, I'm with everybody. Again, I'm with everybody on that list, Karen. I'm not in a disagreement with that. I'm with everyone you put on that list except for AJ. That's the only one. Rocky says, I'm tired of hearing this same old BS all season. It wasn't acceptable. It wasn't. It was never acceptable all season. We were riding this train. We couldn't jump off. We couldn't jump off. We had to ride the train. This is how we were winning during the year. You have to, you got to reframe things. I never liked the offense the way it was. I never liked it, right? But we won 11 out of 17 games that way. I had to reframe it to believe that this is, because this is what we had. this is what we had. I couldn't make it any better or any different than what we had. So I had to ride with it. Right? I wasn't happy with it. If I had my choice, I would like the offense to look a lot different, but I didn't. I didn't have a choice in the matter. So I had to ride. We all had to ride this train. So we all had to reframe it and tell ourselves that this is what we have and we can win with it. And all knowing deep down that it wasn't going to be wasn't a good chance of that happening if the offense did not improve, and it did not improve. It was just what we've seen all year, and that proved not to be enough. Man, AJ didn't catch that ball on purpose because he was mad at Sirianni. That's something. Ooh, that's something. Our D line couldn't get any pressure. Yeah, that was big too. I was a little disappointed in that too. I was a little surprised at that, as a matter of fact, that our D line couldn't get any pressure. Rocky, we needed to be out. I mean, this stings, and it's going to probably sting even more as I'm home isolating myself because I have the COVID. So I'll be able to ponder this situation a little more deeply tomorrow as my family locked me away in the guest bedroom. So I don't have anybody to talk. I'm in solitary confinement right now. You guys are my only company. I'm glad that you guys are spending this time with me right now because as I'm isolating, I'm in solitary confinement in my own house. So I'll have some time to digest this, even look at the game, as painful as it may be. And when you look at it right now, immediate reaction, I'm happy. I'm happy that we get rid of this guy because my fear was, it was like, all right, do you want the Super Bowl and keep KP? Because if we win the Super Bowl, we got to keep KP. If we keep KP, I don't know. I didn't know. So now that's over. We don't have to worry about that. We're not winning the Super Bowl. So we get to get rid of KP. I think that's more important because I think this team has the makings of being great. We couldn't overcome the lack of an OC, but we have the tools and the talent to be an all-time team, like we showed last year, right? And without that offensive coordinator, it's just not possible. So now we have that opportunity to be able to go out and get the offensive coordinator that this team deserves to have with the talent that we have on the offensive side of the ball. I thought it was negligence on Howie's part by allowing Nick Sirianni to promote his homeboy who's not ready for the position. I thought that was negligence on Howie's part. You have this fine machine here, this Ferrari, Lamborghini, and you just turn it over to a first-time driver, who you have to put a student driver sticker on the back of the car. That's negligence. You don't turn the car over to a first-time driver just had his license for a week. You don't do that. And that's what Howie did this year by giving the offense to Petula. He may be a great offensive coordinator somewhere down the line, but he was not ready to do that, and not with a Super Bowl team. You don't do that. So, we got what we deserve, I guess. When you're negligent, we were negligent in 2023 and turning the offense over a Super Bowl, not Super Bowl winning team, but a team that had gone to the Super Bowl the previous year and lost. We turned that team over to another first-time play caller in the NFL, and that was disastrous. So what do? We actually win the Super Bowl, and we follow the same blueprint. We turn the offense over to a first-time play caller, not ready for that position. That's negligence. So you get what you pay for. Get McDaniels in the office in the offseason. I'm with that. Get McDaniels on the phone now, as a matter of fact. Howie should be getting McDaniels on the phone right now. Right now. That's what I'm happy about, that we're out, and now we can go and get one of these good offensive coordinators before they're all they're all signed. I was just looking at a report yesterday that somebody was bringing in McDaniels. I forget who it was, but I was like, "Dad, you know what? That's the only thing about this. If we go deep in the playoffs, these guys, these offensive coordinators, or these brilliant offensive minds are all going to be signed up." Well, guess what? We're still in the race thanks to today's debacle. We have an opportunity now to go and sign us a good OC. And I guarantee you, if we get a veteran OC, we will be Super Bowl champions next year. Guarantee it. You heard it here first. I keep the tapes. If AJ put his foot in his mouth, the game. Hold up. If AJ put his foot in his mouth, the game, 2 catchable balls that didn't look like any effort. That one goes right through his hands. That was horrible. Yeah. No bright side to this. Yeah, it is a bright side. It's always a bright side. Um, everyone better me fire. Oh, you guys, I know you guys are so emotionally charged that, but slow down while you're typing because it's not making any sense. All right. I hate to say it, but the window is closed. Time to figure it out. What? What window's closed, Kyle? What window's closed? We still have a window. We at least have the windows least open for next year. We bringing the OC in here. Tell me you're thinking about that on that one. I have to hear that. You run the ball 2nd and 18 out of the piss. I know. This is crazy. Hold up. What did it say? This better be the end of Patullo. You're right. It better be. It's a lot of comments. I got to go. I'm missing a lot of you guys' comments. Everybody's talking. No. Tony Sirianni getting in AJ's face publicly on the sideline didn't get the desired result. No, it didn't. But I'm sorry, man. And I'm not one because I'm an athlete myself, and I'm all for respecting the hierarchy of the team, respecting the authority, respecting the coach, and the such. I am all for that. I am a coach's player, right? But I will admit this, and I don't know if this is where AJ is. When you come to a point where you realize that the coach doesn't know what he's doing, it makes it a very strange situation. Because being a coach's player, you want to respect the coach, but it's a hard thing when the coach loses your respect as far as, when you're sitting there like, man, dude don't know what he's doing. It's a hard thing. It's a hard thing. And you're a competitor, right? So you want to win. And it's just a hard situation. And I don't know if that's the way that AJ was looking at it, but I know what it feels like to be in that position, right? So I'm not going to say I back all of AJ's moves. I didn't back his move in the season when he was going public with his displeasure. I wasn't a fan of that. And I'm not even a fan of, well, you know what? Like the commentator said, like we found out with Travis Kelce and Andy Reid, sometimes you do have that dialogue with your coach in the heat of battle because you're so emotionally charged and you're such a competitor, right? So I'm gonna let it go at that. But I'm still on board with AJ, and I'm in agreement that I think his whole complaint this year was that he knew that this offense was trash. He knew that it's like I just said, when you figure out, when you know your sport, because don't think that players don't know their sport, what they're playing. I know they're not the OC. They're not the OC because they're playing. That's the only reason. But don't think that they don't understand play design. Don't think that they don't understand the flow of play calling. Don't think they don't understand that. And not to the point where they could be an OC, but they understand what's successful and what's going to work and what has worked in their careers in the past. And they probably can recognize what is trash and who doesn't know what they're doing. And I think that AJ's whole problem this year was he understood and recognized that this offense was trash, and he's just been, and he's just not been a proponent of a trash offense, especially when it doesn't get hit the ball. So that's where I am with that. After QB, Jalen with Hollywood. Oh man, now we call him for Jalen. Oh no, I think Jalen looked better with a different OC. I'm telling you. Jalen, we can't forget this is the same guy that was runner up for MVP in the year that Shane Steichen was the OC. So the OC can make have a tremendous effect on how your quarterback looks. Look at what our opponent today did. Mr. Irrelevant, Purdy, is now a top 10 quarterback in this league because of his offensive coordinator, because of his coach. So I'm not giving up on Jalen yet. To get Jalen a competent OC in here and watch Jalen's game improve. Everybody's game improve. Look how I'll never forget when Shane Steichen took us to the Super Bowl, how explosive our offense looked that year. Almost the same talent. Except for, Saquon wasn't here. Maybe a couple changes on the offensive line, maybe. But, and that was just a change of OC. So you give me a better OC, and I guarantee you these players will look a lot better. AJ was held and no call. This ish was rigged. I know you're mad, Pat, but it wasn't rigged. This is how we played all year. This is not rigged. It'd be rigged if we, if we were different. You know what I'm saying? It'd be different if we were the offensive juggernaut and somehow, this happened. We were never the offensive juggernaut we should have been this year. And it was just it just caught up to us. An OC that calls plays and stays more than a year. Yeah, I don't want to hear that stays more than. I would like them to stay more than a year, but don't say that too loud because the proponents for Kevin Patullo will try to use that to get him to stay here because they'll be like, no, see, you don't want to change offensive coordinators because Jalen's developing in continuity. Keep Kevin again. They're growing. No. We don't need to keep Kevin. He needs to develop continuity with the next OC, not Kevin Patullo. That experiment is over. Blankenship is trash, doesn't deserve anything, no new deal. Everybody's mad. But Palatero is everybody's catching the stray. Palatero just shooting everybody right now. He just pulled out the shotty and he just spraying. He just spraying. I didn't see that hunger from Sirianni either. He should have put his foot down with Patullo, and no, AJ needs to stay. Yeah, I'm with you, Jack. Patrick, AJ, and Jihad was held by the same player. Yeah. Stop yelling. Did you do your shots of Woodford? Oh, look. Oh, Jeremiah, you must be talking to Pat. Yeah, did you do your shots of Woodford? Maybe we need to be putting you in the blame. Palatero fired some shots over Pat's way. I don't think he did his due diligence because I did mine. Boom. We saw this in pregame. I did my due diligence. Yes, I put that up there. It didn't work, but I did mine. I hope you took your shots, Pat. All right, McDaniels is not coming here because of Vic Fangio. What? Man, he better reconsider. He won a ring, right? Don't say that, Patel. Don't put that on that universe. John Batiste says Super Bowl win had us in the infatuation stage. You tend to ignore red flags when you're infatuated. Yeah, that's a great analogy right there. How many times you meet that fine honey or that suave dude and you ignore the red flags you see because you're so infatuated with this beautiful woman or this suave dude, and you just ignore the red flags and continue the relationship, right? Until you move out of the infatuation stage, because it eventually happens. You move out of the infatuation stage, and then you start noticing all the things that get on your damn nerves. See, we were in the infatuation stage. I think that's why we even had them in the first place. We just won the Super Bowl. We were all in love with the trophy and all. And we just like at the celebration party. It seemed like that decision was made at the celebration party for the Super Bowl. While everybody was popping champagne and getting drunk, I think they was like, you know what? I think Kevin could do that job. And Howie was like, you know, go ahead, Nick. You right, Nick. Go ahead. You can hire Kevin Patullo, he can do it. And then they woke up at the end of the year, which was the day, and said, I did what? I hired Kevin. I let Kevin Patullo? Yes, you did. Yeah. Don't hire any more friends. It doesn't work. I'm with you. That's it. Don't hire any more friends. It doesn't work. That was not a good decision. Not a good decision. Oh, Stefanski too. Yeah. Stefanski is out there. I mean, Palatero, all right, if you don't like McDaniels, I'm okay with that. But there are a number of offensive coordinator options out there. Stefanski being one, I think that he might be a tougher get because he actually is being considered for a head coaching job. Whereas McDaniels, I don't think he is on a head coaching job radar so much so. Stefanski is. He's high on the radar of some teams. But I would take him. I would gladly would take him. I like Kingsbury also. I don't think that he is on the radar for any head coaching jobs. That might be one that might be a good fit also. But in any case, now that we're out, we can jump into that ring and get one of these OCs or offensive minded, young offensive minded. I don't know if I want a young. I would love ideally, I would love the offensive version of Vic Fangio, right? I would love a veteran offensive coordinator who's not looking for a head coaching job, who still has a lot of creativity and innovation in his wheelhouse. You know what I mean? Like, and that may be a hard thing, but that would be ideal. But if not, I'll take somebody that is that's better than what we got. Please, that's all I need. All right, VPAC says, and this is a long one, so it's going to take up most of your screen. Oh, I forgot to put you guys' comments on the screen. Let me do that. All right, VPAC says, while I don't think Nick should be fired and do not want Jalen to have to go into another offseason with another new OC, something has to be done. This was negligent. It was all year, and not one change was made. Coaches and players consistently bumping heads. We never had an identity. Offensive things got to change, and heads got to roll. I'm sorry. I agree with you totally with that. And unfortunately, there's going to have to be a change. I'm sorry, we can't keep the continuity because there's no continuity to keep. The offense it sucked. You know what I mean? So there's no reason to keep Kevin Patullo. I'm sorry. It just isn't. So we just have to, he just have to get accustomed to another OC and develop some continuity with the new guy. I hate to say it. I was hoping Shane Steichen was let go, but they decided to keep him. So that's that. But there are some names out there. There's some people out there. So Howie, it's time to go do your job and right this ship, because you still have a very valuable. We're still a very valuable entity. We still are capable of winning championships. Our window is not closed, and it doesn't. I know it gets a little hairy in the next year or two, but right now, I think that we still have a window to win before we have to pay these young guys on defense. So go out, get that offensive coordinator, and let's try to get this championship next year. That's what we have to do. Dang, another AC for Jalen. Yeah, that's the price you got to pay. AJ got to earn that money, Mr. I'm always open. Yeah, it did. Yeah, it's not a good day for him, for that commercial to play. Always open, always dropping. That's what he's always dropping the ball. That's what his new nickname should be. But guys, I am I am not going to hold you because I know this next game is on, and I'm going to go watch it. As you can tell, I'm still congested, still isolating. Discovered on Friday that I had contracted COVID-19, so they locked me in the guest room, and I'm in solitary confinement. So, all right, Dion says both years, 2023 and now 2025, the 49ers were the begging of and now our NF. But both years, we all know we were not a team who could win it. Yeah, true. Rachel, that's a good one. Stoutland University has lost its accreditation. that has some validity to it. That's valid. This year was not a good year for Stoutland University. They dropped out of the top 10. They are unranked right about now. We'll see if they can regain their accreditation in the off season. But yeah, they had a tough year, man. Really beat up along that offensive line. They're going to have to go get some new recruits for Stoutland University. I would think that that's going to be one of the main priorities in this offseason through the draft and or free agency to shore up this offensive line because we were not prepared for what happened this year with our line being dinged up. All right, next season going to be shot. We got too many stars to pay and can't keep them all. Not this offseason, right? We should be all right going into next year. I don't know how different it's going to be. I think we should be all right this offseason. I think next year's is where it gets really hairy. So I see what you're saying. McDaniel's not coming because of relationship with Vic. I'd rather have Vic here and get someone else. I'm all right with that too. Palatero, I'll put that up on it. Megan says, I think we need to draft a kicker because Elliott should have never missed. Don't feel good in the first half. Okay. It's upsetting, especially for my father. He was yelling the entire game. I'm looking forward to next year. I love my Eagles, as we all do. And this is disappointing. But we'll come back on Thursday and we'll have our couch session on upon further review after you guys and myself get a chance to digest what we witnessed today. A very disappointing first round exit for our defending Super Bowl champions. Not surprising when we look at what has taken place this entire year, but still very, very disappointing. And now we can voice our concerns and our displeasure in what we witnessed this year. So I've started off Kevin Patullo. Thursday, he should not be. We should be talking about the fact that he's not our OC anymore. That I hope that's the news on Thursday. So until then, man, go enjoy tonight's game. Try to enjoy the rest of your week. I know it's tough. And we will reconvene here on Thursday upon further review. I'm your man, DarkKnight, for my co-hosts. They're both, Pat's at the game, and Nichelle. I know they're disappointed, but we'll reconvene here on Thursday and talk about it. I'm your man, DarkKnight, for my co-hosts in their absence. We'll see you guys on Thursday. I'm out. Peace.